That's just freaking peanuts. I stand.
Sorry, I didn't put the countdown here for the live stream today, and they're still arguing about it.
Which is really nice that you can do that. And there you go, we've got sort of a platform there. And you may notice that the next thing I'm going to do is import some art. I'm going to import it into the sprites folder, so you need to make sure that the sprites folder is selected before you drag stuff in. That took a little while to get used to, coming from Unity, where you
So
can just
I didn't put the collision in the tile set, so oops.
drag stuff into a folder. So I'm going to take the art I want to get in there, and you may want to use your own art, but I will be providing the art I'm using in the, and now we've got a few sprites to work with there. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a tile map, and we're going to build a level using tile map, so it's going to be really nice. We're going to hit the plus button here to add a child node to our area 1 scene, and I'm just going to search tile map, and there it is, create, and now we've got a tile map. I'm going to make this window a little bit bigger here so you can see it better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now we've got this tile map thing here that we can click on, and this is where we're going to edit the tile. That's done up. Now we've got a tile set resource here, and we can click on it and open it for more information, which we're going to mess around with in a minute here. Automatically created tiles in the atlas, yeah, that's fine. make these windows a little bit bigger, zoom in a little bit here, and you can see it automatically created some tiles for us. Zoom in a little bit here, you can see it automatically created some tiles for us.
Mm.
I think with most tile maps, it's going to be able to do that if you have a real erase, which is really nice that you can do that. Should make it a little bit more sophisticated, but for now that'll be fine.
Mm. Oh, crap. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
A homebrew is a new game that's created for an older console, usually made by one person. Homebrew games can be a what-if situation. When the original developers of the game drop the ball, homebrew developers sometimes come through. Let's take a look at a few examples. What's going on? It's Poger coming at you with another video. Alright, so let me ask you, what is your favorite homebrew game? Let me know in the comments or tell me in our Discord server. Just go to discord.poger.net and tell me all about it. And if you've seen a few of my videos and you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button right there. We're trying to make a push to that 40,000 subscriber threshold. I've gotten a few requests to talk about homebrew games, so I thought this would be a cool topic. Let's take a look. Atari was initially struggling with sales of the new console, the 2600, but after releasing a port of the arcade game Space Invaders, the console rose in popularity. Atari realized that console ports of classic arcade games was the way to go. With the popularity of
Sorry,
Pac-Man,
my
Atari
stuff
secured the license to make a home console version of it. This could have been a great opportunity for Atari, but the development process would not go smoothly. The developer, Todd Fry, would end up being bogged down by the lack of resources and Atari's demands. Development for the game was given a very short amount of time, and the source code to the arcade Pac-Man was never provided to Fry. Atari also wanted to keep the costs as low as possible, so a 4KB cartridge had to be used instead of an 8KB one. Fry had no choice but to improvise and do the best he could given the restrictions. The final game is definitely playable, but could have been better. The stages you play on look nothing like the original arcade version, and there's way too much sprite flickering. Pac-Man's head does not change direction when moving up or down. The hit detection is also way more strict, where you're not allowed to be anywhere near the ghosts. In the arcade version, it's more lenient, where the ghosts have to be on top of you for it to count as a death. This game does resemble Pac-Man to an extent, but way too many sacrifices were made in the process. But this is the Atari 2600. Could it be that this console is not capable of doing anything better than this? Well, thanks to the homebrew community, the answer to that question is no. In fact, there's tons of homebrew titles that pulled off the unthinkable. With that said, let's get started with the list. Number 1. Picking up where I left off, in 2008, the Atari Age user Dintar816 developed and released a ROM of the game Pac-Man 4K. Despite having the same amount of ROM space as the official version, the gameplay is way more accurate. The level is exactly the same as the arcade, and the graphics better represent that version. Dintar816 even managed to include intermissions, which is impressive for a 4KB game. There is a lot of flicker, which is understandable considering how many sprites are on screen. Overall, this is a very impressive achievement. This does prove that a better version of Pac-Man was indeed possible. Later on, a new version was made called Pac-Man 8K. This is basically a polished up version of 4K. It includes a title screen which the original game didn't have. There's also much less flicker, so it plays much faster as a result. This is the version I recommend if you're looking to play Pac-Man on the 2600. I do wonder how Todd Fry's game would have turned out if he were given 8KB to work with, but we'll never know. Number 2. With how much success Atari had with console ports of arcade games, the company Coleco wanted to make their own system. But unlike the 2600, the ColecoVision had better hardware that could accurately represent arcade games. After negotiating with Nintendo, Coleco released Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision. This is the best version of the game that we had seen so far. Coleco would choose to publish a 2600 version of this game as well. Unfortunately, this one was heavily scaled down. This version only contains 2 out of the 4 levels from the arcade version. The graphics have also been severely downgraded, with each stage only being a single color. Mario's jump is only a single frame of animation and it looks pathetic. Some people have speculated that Coleco purposely butchered this game to make their own console's version look better. Back then, it was more common for first-party companies to release games on other platforms for money. It really wouldn't make sense to release a game that's bad on purpose. Could it be that maybe the Atari 2600's hardware cannot pull off Donkey Kong? Once again, the homebrew community puts this theory to rest. In 2012, the Atari Age user Joe Masashi developed the game Donkey Kong VCS. This version managed to implement every aspect of the arcade original. The introduction at the beginning is here, and the Cement Factory level has been restored. I'm also surprised at how much content you get. The screen moves vertically, and the graphics are well detailed. Donkey Kong himself looks very close to his arcade appearance, which is very impressive. Mario actually jumps in this game instead of the pathetic teleporting he does in the official 2600 version. This game does flicker a decent amount due to hardware limitations, and in the 3rd level, only one platform can be loaded at a time. I'm honestly blown away that the full version of Donkey Kong was actually possible this whole time. Number 3. Atari secured the rights to most of the well-known arcade titles. Of course, bringing over games that people are familiar with are going to increase sales. But it seemed like Atari didn't bother porting over some games because they were too advanced. For example, here's Bossonian. It's a shooter where you must take down all the green bases. You have a map screen on the right that tells you where they all are. The levels are large, and the screen moves in 8 different directions. It seems like a game like this would have been impossible on home consoles. I mean, there's no way the Atari 2600 could handle multi-directional scrolling, right? In 2014, Spiceware from Atari Age would make a very surprising homebrew game called Draconian. I'm honestly amazed at what I'm looking at right now. Somehow, Spiceware was able to implement multi-directional scrolling. There's even parallax scrolling, which looks amazing. If that wasn't enough, the map screen is still in the game, telling you where all the bases are. Not a single aspect of the arcade game is missing in this version. There is a lot of flickering, especially when there's a lot of activity on the screen, but that's expected for a console that's 47 years old. Spiceware would use a 32KB cartridge to make this game possible. It's worth mentioning that back when the Atari 2600 was new, cartridges that contained more ROM space were more expensive. It was not always the best option to go with the higher amount of space, but in the homebrew world, it doesn't matter. You can make the games as big as you want. Somehow, this impossible arcade game was made possible on the 2600. Number 4. A majority of Namco's arcade games made it to the Atari 2600. Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Pole Position, and many others. But there is one game that did not make the cut. Mappy. This is one of Namco's most well-known games, so it makes me wonder why Atari didn't port this one over. I think a game like this would have been difficult to do because of the large levels and horizontal scrolling. The Atari 2600 probably wouldn't have been able to handle it. But the developers at Champ Games would prove otherwise. Here's Mappy on the Atari 2600. You play as a police officer mouse who must retrieve all the stolen items from the mansion. When you're on a trampoline, you're safe, but if you touch any of the cats while you're on foot, you lose. You can open and close doors, which help you avoid the cats. Some doors will produce sound waves, which will eliminate the enemies. Every few stages, there's a bonus level